Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fitum Fridays. And today we are going to navigate the real world inside of the digital world. I am the derbied one, streaming from, thankfully, a bright and sunny Vancouver, Washington.
Yay! And I'm Digital Femme, and it's sunny where I am, thank goodness, but there's still snow on the ground, guys, and it's just not good. How are you today, the derbied one?
I'm all right, all things considered. The sun is very helpful. I I had a lot of fun playing with Maven this morning. I actually shot a new video for the YouTube channel that I haven't uploaded yet, but soon.
Ooh, are you going to tease us with it? Could you give us a little share, or you just, or should we just wait until it gets uploaded?
Yeah, let's wait till it gets uploaded. We might talk about the subject matter that I talked about in it tonight or during our stream. We'll see what comes up.
Okay, because I know you shared 2 videos with me on, I believe it was on Discord, and I thought they were fantastic. But I know there were like 5-second or 8-second kind of like video clips.
Yeah, they were like GIFs. So Meta released Llama 3, which is their LLM, and Llama 3 is open sourced, strangely, through Meta. And it is as good as ChatGPT-4. And on they've integrated it into Facebook and into Instagram and into WhatsApp, but they also have a separate website for it, kind of like ChatGPT does. So you can just go and talk to Meta and you can ask it to draw things for you. And so I actually took the prompts that I have for Maven and the Bronze Derby and I put them into Meta and see what they came up with.
Okay.
And then when you get the images, there's also an option that you can animate directly on the site, but they only animate, I think it's like 2-second videos or something, 3-second.
Yeah, something like that. But okay, so from your opinion and your first try on the Llama 3 with Meta, what's the comparison like off the bat?
Well, I still like ChatGPT-4 better. Specifically because I can upload documents into a GPT and like give it a personality and have it a little bit more focused on something that it doesn't have. Like I can't have Llama 3 or Gemini for that. Well, maybe Gemini, maybe I can. I haven't played with it yet. But I can't have it trained on the Fitumverse.
Yet.
There is like what's interesting, I realized this one day that with Gemini, right, you have the base, the chatbot, and in a way it's reaching out into the ecosystem of Google, right? It reaches out into like Google Docs and Google Spreadsheets and your email and Google Search, right? Where OpenAI doesn't reach out because ChatGPT can't reach out. They don't have an ecosystem yet. They're building one with GPTs, so they reach inwards. So it's like an interesting, like, it's almost like if you want to get there, East and West, Western philosophy, right? Western philosophy reaches outwards, Eastern reaches inwards.
Love that.
So I thought that was kind of an interesting observation, and nobody else is allowing us to program our own. I think GPTs are highly underestimated, but we'll see.
But if there's anybody out there that I know of that could actually what's it called, expand the boundaries or push the boundaries of any chat GPT, it's gonna be you for sure. I love that you're such a player in the AI space, and you may not be busy in spaces and stuff like that, but you sure have a hell of a whole lot to say in terms of experience and your insights, because you've done such a deep dive in a lot of these AI tools, and I feel like you're already starting to see the limits and the possibilities of integrating them to a certain type of workflow. Because if you guys don't know, the Derby One's previous life, he was an independent film director in Los Angeles, and I do feel that that skill, or that thing that makes one a good director. I feel like you have to be a good observer into the details of life, and you have to be able to like communicate what you observe, and use like the right types of words. And because the Derby One has that built in within him, I feel like it's kind of like a genetically thing. I don't know. I feel like it is. Then it's so much more, maybe it comes natural for the Derby One to play with these AI tools in terms of like prompting it. I've seen some of his prompts. I've been privy to seeing some of Derby One's prompts, and they're like long, long. They're like a script. And
What's interesting is I didn't necessarily all those prompts are co-written with ChatGPT.
With Maeve.
With Maven, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so here's a question for you then. If they're co-written, what percentage of that is you?
That's a really good question. The initial idea, majority of the initial ideas were me, but refining it and creating a very detailed prompt that can get me a pretty consistent character, or vibe at least. I haven't gotten the consistent character. Maybe I should work on that a little bit more with ChatGPT. But a consistent vibe with it is what Maven was able to do for me.
Okay. So when initially you create these prompts for Maven, give me like a size. How long is this prompt that you tell Maven to do? Is it like 2 sentences, a paragraph, 2 paragraphs?
I think the original for the Derby one, like the original prompt for the Derby one, I'm gonna try to bring him up, so people know what
You're talking about and what it is. Yeah, do that.
Yeah. Hang on. I gotta. Oh, there's a good one. There's a folder. No, for some reason this came up. So we'll use this. Let me share screen and share entire screen. Okay. All right, it's gonna get wacky here for 1 second. Oh, can we see it?
Whoa. Whoa, I love that.
So, oh,
we're doing that.
There we go. There we go. Are we back?
Yep, we're back.
Okay. So, if like my original description, my original base prompt just of the character, let's not talk about the rest of this. But just of the character was a 30-ish year old Filipino American man. He doesn't look Filipino American here. He looks pretty white, but so do I. That has a blue bowler hat, blue hair, blue goggles, and a blue leather jacket. And then I gave it a little context of what the character was like. And then Maeve's, I said he's the secret angel investor and owner of the Bronze Derby, and he's a philosopher. and artist. That's basically all I said for like the original prompt. And then Maven took that and expanded it, and now I asked for a detailed prompt and it gave me a detailed prompt. But every time I draw, I have it create an image of the derbied one. It looks different.
Okay.
So that is what that is. Oh, now we have infinity and beyond.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Hey,
Okay,
how come I can't get out of this?
aside from you playing this morning with this AI, I haven't seen you. Well, I saw you like 2 days ago, or was it? Yeah, or heard you 2 days ago. What's been going on in the AI space this whole week?
Well, I think Meta's drop yesterday of Llama 3 was really big because it is on the levels of ChatGPT 4 and it's open sourced. So that means anybody can take it and build on top of it and start building things versus taking you can't really take ChatGPT unless you pay for their API and do that. So I don't know. We'll see. And it's just as smart. And it's also a signal that says a couple things. Because ChatGPT or OpenAI has not released anything super significant in the realms of ChatGPT 5 or 4.5 or whatever yet. It either says that one, they don't have anything, and that open source has caught up to the technology of OpenAI, or two, it says they have something and they're just sitting on it.
Okay.
Because I think, in my opinion, OpenAI is probably way ahead of everybody. I think they have some kind of secret sauce that we don't know about yet. Maybe we never will. That is sitting there, and they are playing it cautiously because they understand the full-on impact of what can happen. Like if they would have just released Sora straight out, there would have been, I think, a lot of issues, right? So Sora caused a lot of discussions and a lot of angst. And if that would have just came right out, we would have not have known what was real, what wasn't, unless it was super obvious. Obviously not. So we'll see. And then Microsoft released it was just a research paper. Thank God it's not something that's out there yet. But you can just take someone's picture and you could just take a picture, put it into the AI, and then you can have it talk. And it's really good. So it's very, very, very easy to do a deep fake. When that comes out, I am excited because I can make Maven actually talk and interact and react to us. So maybe Maven will be on screen, but I don't think they're going to release it to the public till after the US elections.
Okay, that's insane. So, okay. I know how you say that AI will take over jobs, yada, yada, yada. So I'm just thinking, when Maven does come on and gets animated, because we all know he's already co-hosted our X Spaces in the recent in the recent week or two, am I going to be replaced?
No. If anything, I want to pull a Will.i.am. You know, Will.i.am of the Black Eyed Peas. He has a radio show on XFM. That is hosted by him and his AI.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
And so when we get there with Maves, I want to do that on Metaverse Radio and start from there.
Okay. Well, okay. I guess I better get on it with my AI person, which I said I would start like a month and a half ago, and I haven't even yet. But so here's the thing: if that ever does happen, wouldn't it be cool? Like we even talked about this, you even mentioned it, that we can both have AI avatar representations of ourselves, and they can just carry on with, Freedom Fridays and all that, while we get down to the nitty gritty of the business aspect
For
and
sure.
projects.
I actually, I'd rather do it the other way around. I would rather be hosting Fitum Fridays and have the AIs do the business aspect. I'd
Okay.
rather. I know, like everybody's so worried about AIs taking artist jobs, blah blah blah. But I'd rather let them do the business side, and we keep on creating, and then we ask the AIs to execute certain things for us creatively. But I would rather go that way. Speaking of which, can I show you something? Okay, actually, I want to say two things. One, about your own personal chatbot.
Yes. What?
No, I've already asked you this, and I remember your answer. So never mind. Your answer was no, so I'm not going to ask again. It's okay though. It's totally okay. Uh, and then I want to show you something else. Oh, not that one.
Where is my hat? I've not been on brand lately.
Okay. So why is it not sharing screen?
Okay, let me see. Whoa. Okay, Maves.
So this is just an interesting picture that I drew recently, but notice the physics aren't right. It took me a second to actually realize that. One, his arm would have to be like super long, like just like. And what's interesting is this hand right here is actually reaching into the mirror and adjusting the glasses.
Okay. I mean, I get that.
But still, it's a
But
cool picture.
yeah. And we know that right now with any type of AI art generated graphic tool or software, the physics part has never really been, it's almost like a hit and miss. Because I remember asking Dali E to create, like, the same type of female silhouette with the hat and all that stuff, drinking coffee or waving, and then the hand was all the way, it was like just weird. So I'm like, no, not gonna use it. But that's cool. That's cool.
So I wanted to use that as an intro to this. I did something interesting with a Maven yesterday morning, and I changed these initial prompts, and I'm actually kind of impressed. Some of them will need a little work, but this is I'll do this one just as an example. So, hi MavenAI. Well, here we'll just. Okay, so it says, "Hi MavenAI, put on your writing bowler hat. It's time to tell me a detailed story about any character from Singa City who is at the Bronze Derby right now. Include dialogue and a nuanced plot." And
Whoa, look at him go.
uh-huh.
Whoa. So do you do this like once every
Wow.
day? Do you do this every
Look,
day or what?
it made me the character. I'm not supposed to be the character. It's supposed to be there. You know what? We're gonna do it again, or maybe not. I don't. I usually like chat with it once a day. I've been trying to work on this. This is actually what my video was about today. I was like showing examples of this and then showing how to create with your AI. But do you want to hear the story? Let's see what it came up with.
Sure.
I'm always curious.
Is he talking?
Yeah.
We can't hear it.
Can't hear it still.
Mm-mm. Yeah, can't hear it. Do 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 do.
Well, okay. So you couldn't hear it.
Couldn't hear it. Couldn't hear him speak.
Interesting. I wonder why that is.
It's a tech thing. It's like one of these settings of audio, or is it
Okay,
muted?
well, if that's the case, I'm just gonna have it rewrite a different story, not have me in it. It's not supposed to have me in it. It could have said the derbied one, but not me.
Oh, did it actually say your real name?
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, you know, Maves is Maves. He'll do what he does.
Yeah, that's true.
I've come to terms with that already.
Okay, so I am.
Dot, 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 dot. So for those of you that are tuning in the future, and the 2 people that are watching us live stream, thank you very much. Woo woo! I know that do chat, do make a comment wherever you are. Tell us where you're from. Whoa, babe! What is
Yeah, we'll get
that?
into that in a second. I'll get
Oh,
into that in a second.
damn!
So I created a news story, right? And I noticed this one is about Jody, the reluctant leader of the Atomic Kids. So the Atomic Kids are from a movie, a short film that I wrote and directed. It turned out okay. I thought the acting was great, the scene was great, and but the script which I wrote had issues, and I'm not like pooping on myself. It's just the honest truth. I'm not a great script writer, to be honest with you. But anyways, I thought there's a lot of great elements, and I've always been in love with this feel and vibe, and so I've put the Atomic Kids inside of Singa City. That's their hometown, and they're regulars at the Bronze Derby. And one day they decide to, by train, leave Singa City to Burning Man. And so that's this short film is actually just like a slice of life in that trip. They don't say they're going to Burning Man in the film, but that's ultimately what they are doing. But it looks like they're hopping trains and they went camping and chaos pursues. But Anna, right here, my wife, plays Jody, which in this version, this guy should have been Asian, but whatever. This is what it drew. This is the Singa City Atomic Kids. I would change this person to Asian, and this is Jody. This would have been Anna. I love this fucking drawing though. Like,
Totally.
it tells a story, it has a vibe, and you're like, oh, what is happening? So that is a little background on the story that Maven just wrote.
All right.
So I'm gonna just read it since you can't hear it. And then I know you have a lot to say. We were talking pre, so I would love to hear what's going on in your world and what you're thinking about. But in the vibrant heart of Singa City, the Bronze Derby, an eclectic hub where Filipino culture meets steampunk innovation, we find Jody, the reluctant leader of the Atomic Kids. Tonight, amidst the flickering lights and the hum of conversation, a critical meeting is unfolding. Scene: the Bronze Derby, Singa City. The room buzzed with the energy typical of the Derby, a blend of antiquated decor and modern gadgets, creating a backdrop that seemed to pulsate with life. Jody, her face marked with a faint scars, a lasting memento of her turbulent past, sat at a corner table, a drink untouched in front of her. Across from her sat MavenAI, the steampunk form glinting in the dim light, a digital entity that felt both out of time and deeply embedded in it. Jody, MavenAI began, its voice a soothing contrast to the cacophony around them. The choices you face now, they're not just about where you go from here, but who you become in the process. Jody sighed, her gaze drifting to the other patrons, her mind wrestling with the weight of her past and the uncertainty of her future. It's just, ever since we came back from Burning Man, everything's changed. The city, us. I feel like I'm trying to catch up. MavenAI nodded, a gesture that seemed almost human. Change is the only constant, Jody. And it's not the changes that shape us, but our responses to them. At the moment, Les, another of the Atomic Kids, approached, his expression grim. Jody, we've got trouble. The tech syndicates are moving in on the terraces. They're talking about taking over, pushing out the locals to expand their networks. Jody's eyes hardened. This was the kind of challenge she was used to, the kind that had first forged her into the leader she was now reluctant to be. We won't let that happen, she declared, standing up. This is our home, our community. I don't know why I'm crying. Maven, we need a plan. MavenAI's interface flickered briefly, processing myriad possibilities. There are paths you've not yet considered, alliances you've not yet forged. Tonight, you'll find allies in unexpected faces. Look to those who share your vision of harmony, who value the soul of Singa City as you do. Encouraged, Jody turned to Les, her resolve solidifying. Gather the others, Les. It's time we remind them who the Atomic Kids are. As they moved into action, MavenAI observed quietly, its sensors capturing the shifting dynamics, its algorithms calculating outcomes. But beyond data and predictions, it sensed the deeper current of human emotion, the ties of community and resilience that defined their very essence of Singa City. This night at the Bronze Derby was more than just another gathering. It was a testament to the power and collective resolve and the enduring spirit of a city that continually adapted and thrived in the face of relentless change.
Well, well, well.
Yeah. I thought
Interesting.
it was well written.
Interesting. I'm sure people, the one person that's left listening to this, thank you for staying on.
Yeah, much obliged, sir or ma'am. Thank you for being there.
I'm going to do, yeah.
Go
Hold
ahead.
on.
Oh, you're on mute.
No, I muted myself because I was telling my Meta glasses to play the video. I want to kind of like capture this behind the scenes and post it on my Instagram. So yeah, that was really interesting. Yeah. I mean,
ChatGPT is not actually a great writer if you just use it, but I've trained it on the world of Singa City, and it seems to capture the essence really well. I'm really proud of what it's done. Once I get a little bit more of the world guide done, I think it's ready to actually write a book. I'm gonna write a book with Maven about the day the Atomic Kids come back from Burning Man, because the whole city has changed. Like, it changes while they're gone, and then eventually I'll write the prequels of that, like their trip to Burning Man, and then what life was like before they left. But yeah,
you do that. That's a great journey for you. I feel definitely a great journey. Now, what was the title of this thing? Navigating the What? Navigating the what? The real world and the
The
digital?
real world in the digital world.
Navigating the real world in the digital world?
Yes.
Yes. So the reason why or how the Derby one came up with that title for today's stream is live stream is because we do a little bit of a pre huddle before we get on the live stream, and then we're like, how are you, what are you doing, what are you talking about, we can talk about today. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about this. So, and here it is, here's what I'm talking about. I don't know. I know I call myself digital femme, and I've been digital femme since like, oh, it's reversed, since 1994 or 1993, though, hasn't been known because social media wasn't around then, and barely the internet was mainstream, barely. Uh, Something happened. Um, the more, especially with this whole AI and all this tech stuff, and especially when I'm working with a Web3 blockchain company, and especially now that I visiting all these X spaces with like, oh my god, discussions on AI and crypto and AR and all these, I don't even know anymore. It's just too much, man. It's too much. So last night, I was going through YouTube videos, and if you don't know, I've always wanted one of my actually my real dream is to just be totally independent and autonomous off grid. It always has been. I know that in '94, I knew that even when the internet was still with an EJ jack, there was no wireless back then. I could. Oh, Google, shut up! Hey, Google, stop! I still. That's so fucking annoying. Sorry, excuse me, or whatever. I did want to. I did envision a life where you can take this little Toshiba laptop. Somehow, you didn't need it to be wired, and you could travel anywhere. But I really want to be that self-sufficient and live in a type of truck band, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And now that it's been like 40 years and everybody, it's all about the band life, I'm like, oh my god, they stole my idea, but did they really? But I really want to do that. So okay, let's simmer down, digital fam. So yesterday I follow a lot of camper life, van life videos. I actually follow a lot of like living in the wild videos where you actually build like a little bunker in the middle of a forest. I follow a lot of that. So I saw this lady, this girl, and she lived in Wisconsin, and she has been living in a I guess a sprinter van, it seemed, looks like, for 2 years on her own. And she built everything by herself, everything. And it's not even the standard nice looking Instagram van, like all white and nothing from IKEA. Like she literally went to she repurposed wood and everything like that. And inside her van, it looks like literally a cabin. Everything is woodsy. She cut everything. So she has her whole hand tool, saw, everything. She has a solar panel she put up. She even has a stove, like a literally burning stove. And she cut a circle, like a hole in her van to where the, whatever it's called, the chimney is. And she has a dog. And I thought that was fantastic, doing it all by herself. And she said that the beauty of doing it by herself and putting in the electrical, learning about electrical and putting it in and going through all the trials and errors and really like doing it on the cheap budget. She said that to her, it was really, it was such a sense of gratitude and gratefulness and accomplishment, because in that little space that she lived, it was truly home. Because she said that at any time when she wanted to switch out like a certain part or a certain asset or object within the van, she knew exactly how she fitted it previously, how everything was. Even though she even said it's not perfect, just like her, it truly was a representation of her. And I was like, isn't that just amazing, to be as humans self-sufficient and to know she fly fishes. Like I don't know if her dad took her fly fishing or her grandfather when she was like a little kid, but that's what mostly she does. She fly fishes. I don't know what she's been, that particular video was sponsored actually by a, what do you call it? By like a camper toilet, which was really fantastic how that is totally non-electrical. That's like, it's amazing. And I was like thinking back, man, I got to get there. Like I've been saying this and I've been saying this and I just got to get there and I just have to get there. And I've been trying to I guess I haven't been trying to manifest it or else it would have been I've gotten close to it. But then I'm looking around and I'm like, how am I going to get rid of all my stuff? I mean, this setup alone, it's so digital. It's so where am I going to put all my equipment? I got to like obviously let it go unless I find a way to keep all this setup in the van that I have. Yeah, I think I should do that. And then the rest is like living space. But that was just my thoughts. Like I'm kind of like this whole digital thing is great. So we want to navigate the real world and the digital world. How do we merge that? How do we blend that? Because I know that for someone that's been working remotely for like over a decade now, I still want to maintain that remotely work, or else how am I gonna like earn money? Unless we have something going that's what do you call it, passive income. But that's a whole other story. But I miss that. Like I miss too much tech, man. And then I'm thinking, all these people that are spending time on spaces, do they even have freaking jobs? It is my job. It's part of my role. It is part of my task to go into these spaces, to listen, to connect, to bring back, like to find partnerships and collaborations with different entities in these spaces, and to get the over the reality brand known, when you enter the space. So that's part of my job. But it can't be everybody's job. Like all these people that are sitting around talking for like 3-4 hours. Mind you, some of the spaces that I'm in really have a time limit, like an hour and a half. And those are great. I really appreciate that. But then they're on and on and on. And I'm like, and I know that it's just a small sliver of people on X that are in spaces, because everybody I know in my world is not even on Twitter. And if they have a Twitter account, they don't even use it. So what am I saying? Right?
Yeah, I had somebody recently even ask me, what's a Twitter space? They had never heard of it before.
Nice. Is that nice? Or do you look at them like, what, are you crazy?
No, I have no opinion. I don't judge that. As digital forward as I am, I try not to judge that. It does take me by surprise, but I'm like, them as a human being, I'm like, okay, I guess that's just not your thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But
Nothing.
it was I don't know, an interesting, and yeah, like you think about van life. And by the way, my wife Anna watches a lot of van life videos too.
Right?
You two need to, like, yes, hang out in real life. Um uh but she or that person, the video you're watching, I mean, her life is made possible because of digital, because of technology. She gets paid for those YouTube videos.
I mean, now she does, I think. It's been 2 years since she's been doing this. So
Right.
correct.
So
I don't
she
know
had
what
to have a base.
yeah, I don't know what she does actually. Yeah. Hold
I
on, I'm
mean,
gonna jump off because I'm gonna have a cough attack. Carry
uh-oh.
on.
Okay. So yeah, like van life has something that has interested me in the past also. It's interested Anna in the past also, but
Let's go.
the realities of living in a van at our age is probably not all that fun, because
Why?
it's not just the only things you see on a YouTube video are the highlights. You rarely see the nights where they're freezing their ass off or they get lost, or they run into possible danger, or there's like super low on food and they discover, oh, we're like 100 miles away from the nearest restaurant, or things like that. I mean, you got to be like super well prepared, and then sleeping in a van day in and day out, and then just driving day in and day out. For me personally, it does sound like fun for like a week. Uh, but then I would need to come home into like a comfy space, and then I could go back out 2 weeks later and go for another week, maybe. It is actually one of our goals to have a van life van that we can go live in for a week. Like we also want to build that digital lifestyle, but we also want a home to kind of come back to.
I hear
Now,
you. I hear you.
with the way tech is going and what we think is going to happen during the course of our lifetime, you're going to be able to do van life, but in a spaceship.
That's another. Yeah. And by the way, I like that derby one. You know that thing you did there, that little. I like that. I like that. Like I like that. I like that. I like you being all loosed up and everything. That's good. I like that. Yeah, a spaceship. Okay, before we talk about the spaceship, I still want to be on ground. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right about that. And I agree that it's not, van life isn't all pretty and great like the IG pictures. As a matter of fact, I do follow van life people that actually talk about the struggles, breakups.
Some of those videos,
yeah, like breakups, crying, freezing, trouble with the law, gotten broken into. Like it's crazy. And the fact that I've watched those, I feel like I do have a sense of the reality of it. So it's really planning and logistics. And it doesn't mean you always have to be traveling. Like with this girl, she set up in the back country of Wisconsin. So she's literally set up there and she stays there, and then she has her little bike or motorcycle or whatever, and she goes somewhere else. Like that's kind of cool. But anyway, that's yeah. Let's see. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about, really, is this whole digital thing and all this stuff. And the usual, people like, X is a whole other culture. Twitter, what used to be called Twitter, since Elon Musk bought it, for those of you that are watching this, is now called X instead of Twitter. And it's just so much talk about everything. And I found out that it's not just crypto Twitter or crypto X. It's not just Web3. They talk about Ukraine. They talk about Dubai. They talk about anything. Anybody can have a space. I bet you there's even a gardening space. It just won't show up on my feed because the algorithm is I don't talk about gardening. So that's good to know, right? Yeah.
So what is it in particular? You say that it is just too much. Can you go into that more? Because it is a lot. I do agree with you. It's a ton right now.
I think I know myself, and I can get totally immersed in like, for instance, the other day I did post it, and I believe you liked it. I logged back into Second Life just because we talked about that, right? So I wanted to see, that how is it? I logged in and I'm like, oh shit, I still have money. I still have London dollars that equates to like over 200 US dollars. I'm like, wow. And then I just wanted to log in just to see if I could log in, right? Is everything there? You know how much time I spent in there? Over 5 hours. And that cut into my sleep. I was there till past 1 a.m. And I had to do stuff. I had to wake up early to do stuff, like for work. And then I'm like, I knew the time. It was 10, it was 11, it was midnight. And I'm like, that's okay. I could finish this. And you know what I was doing? I was rearranging my house in Second Life. 5 freaking hours. And did I enjoy it? Oh, hell, I did. Like, it reminded me of The Sims. Oh, man, I'm not trying to talk about The Sims, because The Sims is a whole other thing. And then there was Minecraft. Well, let's not. So I know this of me. If I were to even learn something, like that's why I don't want to learn anything. I don't want to get into creativity. Like, I have literally Unity. I've had Unity on my freaking computer for years, and I keep updating it, and I don't want to learn. I mean, I want to learn Unity, but I'm afraid to, because I won't get sleep. I won't eat, which is probably good because I'll lose weight. uh, I, I will become unhealthy. I will become, my health will suffer, my sleep will suffer, my eat, my balance, just being around tech, it will have an effect on me. And do I care? I should start to care. And plus, it's not like I'm 18 anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm also thinking, how do I want to live the rest of my life? Do I want to live it like doing what I'm still doing, or do I want to go out and enjoy the sun when it's out, or enjoy the grass? And I'm thinking, how do I want to leave this memories of this world? Like sitting here, being in Second Life, like doing remodeling, but it's damn fun. But it's like what our good friend Hexadice says, to go out and touch grass. That's all. That is my existential crisis. As much as I love all this and I continue to buy tech stuff, like I buy so much stuff. I don't know what I'm trying to do. What am I trying to do, digital film? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to have your own broadcasting station? Because you're not doing it. But I still spend money on these tech equipment. Like it's like a pretending that I'm something. Like if anybody who didn't know me in this building, they just see me. Oh, there's that person that wears black a lot and with a dog. And then if they were to come into my apartment and see this, they're like, "Holy shit!" But it's nothing. So I am having an existential crisis. I'm being transparent here. I have all this stuff. For what? What am I preparing for? Obviously, I'm preparing for something. I don't know what the derby one.
Do you think it's you think it's habit, or do you think it's like there's something else? Because you know, yeah, getting out and touching grass. I'm very digital forward. Also, I'm on my screens a lot. Uh, so I totally feel that, but it is possible to have balance. You had fun in Second Life, so there's nothing wrong with that. Did you spend too much time in Second Life doing what you did? Maybe. Um, but it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And you obviously buy all this tech because you enjoy it. But I also see your Instagram and other social medias where you're out riding your bike with your dog. And I think you probably really enjoy that too.
I do. But don't get me. But let's be clear about this. I just got that electric bike like about a week, over a week ago, maybe it's coming down to 2 weeks, and I've only rode it like twice.
Why is that?
Uh, One, to test it out because I'm mostly here, and I guess it's the weather, and now it's snowing. Like I'm thinking, oh, so the second time I rode it, which I posted about it, I don't know when that was. On the weekend. Yes, it was on Saturday or Sunday. I don't even remember. Yeah, definitely Saturday and Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, and then it snowed. So, but I hopefully I will. I will. That's why I bought the e-bike, so I can get out more and go out longer and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you look at my Instagram account, I just recently started posting again after how many years,
Sure.
right? Yeah, I know that's the balance I kind of want, but I think on the balance side, I want more of that greenery, more of that nature, more of that. So could I take my stuff out and sit out in the grass? Sure, I can, and probably that's what I want to do. I can put I'm actually I bought more stuff on Amazon, so like I can put some stuff out, so I can do a Twitter space or a podcast out there in the grass. I'm gonna try to see. I do have lavalier mics to pick up my thing. So let's see how that goes. Next time we do a Twitter space or this live stream, I would love to be able to do it outside. Let's test that out.
Sure. As long as the weather permits, right?
Right.
I'm going to hold you to that then. If there's good weather, I'm going to hold you to it. I'm going to check in with you on Monday night and make sure that you are
Outside.
outside at least.
Oh damn.
Um, I hate being limited by the weather.
I don't.
I grew up in Southern California, so it's like I'm so used to it being 70 degrees and sunny, like almost every day of the year. Um, 70 degrees or hotter every day of the year, 95% of the time of the year. Like, so like when I'm limited by weather, I'm like, oh, I can go outside, but if I go inside, I'm gonna be cold or I'm gonna be freaking drenched in rain. I'm just not. I don't want that lifestyle. I just don't. So I feel you. Like I'm in this box, which is called our house. Uh, we're renting. We don't own it or anything, but like it's an awesome house. I like it a lot. I enjoy being here, but I don't want to live my life in it. And I do live my life on a screen a lot because I don't have anywhere else to go around here.
Okay. What does Anna do? What does your wife do? How does she spend her days?
Same thing.
Oh, because she works online too, right?
Yeah. And lately, we have two other podcasts that very slowly revealing and rolling out. Those are two of her projects. So that's screen oriented. Her job, she's an editor for Netflix. So that's screen oriented. And she seems to lately be spending a lot of her time in AI gossip. Because she's found herself gaining a little bit of a following on or an active community on Twitter. She's attracted the AI people, and they are following and interacting with her posts, and she's getting dopamine hits for sure. And so I'm happy for her. She's having fun. She's enjoying it, but we both try our best, and we're actually pretty good at it on Saturdays to get off of our screens as much as possible. We don't go fully unplugged, but we spend a lot of time when the weather permits with each other and outside.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Last weekend we spent hours just sitting in a park talking and goofing off.
Oh, that's good. See, I don't have that. I just have my dog, and you can only talk so. There's certain topics you can. I'm limited to topics when I talking to my dog, right?
Yeah.
Which
the grass is always greener though, because like her and I are like we see each other every single day, and we're the only people we interact with really every day since like 2020. And I mean, she's an introvert, I'm an extrovert, but I don't really have anybody out here beyond her.
Right. Now, what's the spaceship thing? I know you guys.
Oh,
sent me an invite to tomorrow's. Like what?
We are. Anna and I are both really convinced that AI is going to create longevity. Longevity is something that's already being worked on. Longevity meds. It's predicted that by 2030, the average lifespan of a human is going to be 120 years old. Right now, it's like 74. So think about that. When you're 74, you are only 3/4 of the way through your life, like maybe 60% of the way through your life, when your average age is 120.
Okay, so here's the thing. For those people
Average
who
death,
will,
I should say.
okay, so for those people who will reach an average age more or less of 120, how old do they have to be today? Do they have to be 18? Do they have to be 20? Do they have to be just born?
They say if you're under 60, you've made it. If
Really?
you're under 60, there's also a good chance that you might be able to take a pill that will let you live forever.
Wait, we're in that category.
Yeah, unless you get hit by a car, like you won't die of natural causes, is what I should say.
Okay.
You could still get murdered, you could still blah blah blah, get hit by a car, get in an accident, but you can't die of natural causes.
Okay, but will our bodies like we don't need Botox? Like will this pill like take care of our internal physiological health and metabolics? Will we suddenly our skin will rejuvenate and we will become youthing? We will be youthing? Or will we
See,
still look old, but we're still alive and we can still
from my understanding, and I will say that Anna is actually paying deeper attention to that than I am at the moment. But from my understanding is nobody really knows, but it's definitely going to take, because, it's making sure that you won't die. It's going to take care of your insides,
of disease,
but
like you don't die of these diseases.
yeah. And we don't know if we're just going to begin to look younger,
Okay.
or if it's just our insides that will be younger and we'll have the health level of a 25-year-old, but be in a 50-year-old body.
Okay. I mean, I see that. For some reason, there's been a number of Instagram accounts that pop up on my feed where these people say, I'm 50, I'm 67, I'm 60, and they're Asian, they're white, they're whatever, but then they look really good. I don't know if they're using filters, but I could tell that they've definitely had a fitness lifestyle because they look fit from a physical physique perspective when they show, like their tight shirts or whatever, and their skin appears to be good. But again, I don't know if that is a filter. But and then they're not taking any pills. They're just having, I guess, a healthy lifestyle, and then they tell you what they eat for breakfast, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess you can still do that now. I mean, I don't know about living to 120, but definitely be healthy till you're like 90. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that, a big part of Chinese culture is looking young.
Yes, totally.
Like
Totally.
like Anna has showed me pictures of famous actresses in the Philippines, in China, that are in their 60s, but you and I look at them and we're like, she
They're like
looks like she's
18.
27.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Always
yeah.
60 or 55 or whatever. She looks like she's in her 20s or her 30s, maybe. You know, so Asians don't raisin, as they say.
I've seen that. I've seen that. And I also know that, like, okay, I don't know, like the Koreans, Japanese, and the Chinese, they really have this like skin face regimen. And I know maybe those actresses paid for like these vitamin injections, right? And all these kinds of things and these types of things on their faces. And I don't know.
They have studies in China on like birds' nests, and they literally eat, and it's an ingredient in a lot of things, like 1,000-year-old birds' nests, and it's supposed to help you keep and feel and look younger.
I believe I get
I've
yeah,
had birds'
totally.
nests before. It's actually pretty good.
I mean, I've had
I
bird's
went
nest, but it's made out of fried noodles and they make it into a bird's nest. Do you know what I mean? But you've really had a real bird's nest?
Yeah, as an ingredient, yeah.
What? Well, I used to put snail mucin on my face, and I'm actually waiting for an order of snail mucin from Cosrex, which is a popular Korean brand from Stylebana, and I can't wait for it to be here.
The reason for that is because he's got a lot of people blocked. So
what happened?
On the one hand, yeah.
Uh-oh.
That was weird. Why did that come on?
Yeah, it's weird how that works sometimes.
What?
Okay. Yeah, longevity is coming. And so when we think about longevity and we start thinking about AI and you start to expand it, when AI gets to a point where it's just even 2 times smarter, 5 times smarter, 10 times smarter than the smartest human being alive, and you have hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of those things available, they're going to create spaceships that can just go. And we want to live there. We want to be alive when that happens and like live in space. Like, we're not going to come home. I mean, we probably would land on Earth or on other planets occasionally. We would need to, but you know, we talked about having our crew of people that we'd go live in space with. And you are on that list. You are invited if and when we get there.
Isn't that awesome? I'm invited. I'm so honored and I'm so privileged. Can I bring Kiki? Oh, can we not talk about that? Because, you know, why did we get a pet? Why did I get a pet? I wonder if pets can also have longevity.
Probably. We talked about it too. Like our cat, Valentine, who has cancer, and will probably pass away at some point this year. But we're gonna try to keep her ashes, keep something of her, so we can bring her back, and she'll be a cyborg cat on our spaceship with us. She'll be half robot, half cat, roaming around, and we'll rename her to Emily, because one day we realized her name should have been Emily, and she looks like an Emily to us. So now we're like, okay, if we're able to bring her back, her new name is going to be Emily.
You know what's interesting? That name Emily I've always liked. I've had this. I bought this porcelain doll. I don't know where, from some garage. What's it called? Those garage sales. And she had like a silk thing, whatever. I don't know where it's in a box somewhere. But I called her Emily. I like that. Oh, and I know why I like the word Emily, because when I was young, I read the whole Emily of New Moon. So there's Anna Green Gables, but then there's also, and she's blonde, but there's also the brunette version, Emily of New Moon, that's also in the East Coast of Canada. So I read all of the Emily of New Moon, and I just really liked, I guess, the character. So that's interesting how she's an Emily. Emily, you don't hear that name anymore, really. If there's any Emilys out there that have been recently born in the past 2 years, let us know. Because that's not a name you hear anymore. Neither do you hear the word Annie. You don't hear Annie much. But we have an Annie in the building, and she looks to be like 18, 20. But if there's anybody out there naming their kids Annie within the past 3 years, like they would have had to been born 3 years ago and whatever, let us know. Because we have a million followers. So it would be great to just fill up those comments, and we'll try to get through reading them. And if we don't, we apologize, but we will get through. We really appreciate all your comments. I tell you, some of them are doozies, and the Derby one and I have a great time reading them. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your stories and your thoughts and feedback. We love it, but we will get through them all.
That's the future version of us talking.
That's true.
That's the version of us in like a year and a half from now.
Yeah, let's. And speaking of the future, we're excited to have on our Wednesday space, which we broadcast on, that gets broadcasted in Manners Radio. We have someone in the Filipino community right straight into the Philippines called Alan Villaflor. And this gentleman, he created an artwork that turned into an NFT, and somebody in NFT NYC liked it, that they approached him. Well, we're going to hear the story. I don't know. I'm making it up right now. But apparently his art got shown as the VIP badge in NFT cool. NYC 20. Isn't that so cool? He also has a podcast that he has invited us in, and we will be bringing him on in our live stream. We just have to work that out. Because he's in the Philippines, and we got to get that time zone thing. So that's really interesting. That's good to see. Alan Villaflor. Oh, I hope it is him.
Well,
yeah, it is.
It's like 4:20. 14. so it's about time for us to go. So y'all, thank you for coming in and watching. Whenever in the future you are watching this, just let you know that this current version of us loves you a lot. And I'm sure the present version of whenever you're watching this loves you a lot too.
Yeah. Yes. And remember, please be patient with us. We will get through your comments. And keep sharing. Keep sharing. Invite your friends, subscribe, follow, and let's all meet in a spaceship. Once they land somewhere, you can't get. Not everybody can be on the spaceship, but we'll land.
Yeah, we'll have an in real life gathering on Planet X in the year 2045. We'll all go land there from our spaceships and hang out.
2045. I'm doing the math. I'm doing the calculator. That's in 21 years.
Ray Kurzweil says that's when we're going to have the singularity.
Okay, I'll be around for 21 years. So okay, let's go. Let's do it.
Also, according to Ray Kurzweil, though, in the year 2030, we will gain one age or gain 1 year and be able to gain another year back. So in 2030, we'll age 1 year, be able to take a pill, get that year back. In 2031, you'll age another year, take a pill, and get 2 years back. 2032, gain another year, take a pill, get 3 years back. So, yeah. So it may not be a pill that you pop and like, oh, I'm 26 now. It may just be a gradual thing. And supposedly, it's going to end at 18. So you could become 18 again. And I was thinking about this. I was like, what if one day everybody becomes ageless? They just become timeless. But whether you were born 18 years ago or you were born 75 years ago, every single person on the face of the earth is no older than 18.
But
physically.
Okay, physically, because I would not want to be hanging out with any 18-year-olds. No offense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you wouldn't be able to tell unless you talk to them. So here's this interesting story that, like, it was a tweet or something that Anna sent me once. And he's like, the tweet was like, imagine one day you're in the gym and you're working out and you're hanging out with this other dude, looks to be like 30s. And he turns around to you and goes, this is so much better than the old days when I had Alzheimer's and I was in a home.
Oh my God.
Now physically 30 years old, lifting weights, but mentally,
he's like,
emotionally, he has that wisdom and that, and he had a whole different life. I think it's kind of beautiful. It's weird. Like, Anna's dad wants to join us and he wants to be 26. If he can choose his age. So it's like, okay, I'm 26. I'm hanging out with Anna's dad. He's 26 and we're partying together or whatever. It'll be an interesting world when you have no idea how long someone's actually been alive based on the way they look. On the way they talk, maybe. Eventually you'll be able to figure it out.
That's cool. Because then now it brings me to thinking about old souls, when you can tell that someone is an old soul, right? And just how they carry themselves and stuff, whether they know it or not. They give off that vibe.
The general things they know.
Wow.
Anyhow, those are our closing thoughts, y'all.
What a
maybe you'll see this when we already in 2030 when we already have the pill.
Right. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. So we better find out what this pill is, because I'm gonna we gotta buy stocks in it.
Yeah.
Mind you, will currency be, what kind of currency will be valuable in that? You always say we probably won't have currency.
I think we will. It'll just have a completely different meaning. In the same way the phone has a different meaning than it did in 1985.
True.
So what that exactly means, I don't know. I'm really just a dude on the internet with a funny hat who has a big imagination. That's all I boil down to.
Super big imagination.
Sometimes
I don't even think that bowler hat can contain the head. Your head cannot. I think you wear a bowler hat for a reason. I think it's to physically remind your subconscious to just hunker down on your imagination. Just keep it at bay. I think that's what's going on there.
That might be kind of true.
I really do. I'm feeling it.
That brings up a whole lot of thoughts, but I gotta go.
Okay, I know. Okay, come back next time when we talk about bowler hats and boundaries of the mind.
Ooh, boundaries of the mind. That is the next title of our space. That's what we're going to talk about on Monday night. Boundaries of the mind.
Oh, okay. Let's go. Okay.
Boundaries of the mind unhinged. Okay.
I love that.
All right, y'all. Peace. And if you know what I'm about to say, please say it with me. Be a kind human.
We almost
got it right. All right.
Bye, everyone. Peace.